We're back with more mixed doubles action here at the Bowling Promotion Tour. This is the second of 4 stepladder matches, and today's teams are the number 4 seeds Emily Rogers of England teamed with Mike de Boer of the Netherlands versus the number 3 seeds Philip Manning and Avan Rhodes, both of England. The winners of this match face the number 2 seeds Finland's Pepi Kunsteri and Slovakia's David Barak. This is our 6th match of 24 matches, and again features Baker doubles competition in that each team member bowls every other frame in our 1-game match. As with our women's and men's doubles pairing, the 18-game qualifying scores that all these bowlers have bowled in various locations around France were used to determine doubles pairing and seeding. In our last match, it was Rogers and de Boer defeating the number 5 seeds Becca Manning of England teamed with Arnois Ambiel of France 213 to 173 in a match that was actually closer to that right up to the 10th frame. And our leading qualifiers are Finland's Elisa Hiltunen and France's Kenny Bio, and they will be in the 4th stepladder match for these mixed doubles. And here are our competitors getting ready to go. It looks like it will be Manning and Rhodes on the left lane, and indeed this left lane has produced most of our winners so far in these matches. The right lane proving to be more difficult in terms of cliff and over-under, and more difficult to find the pocket. So let's see how Avan Rhodes, young Avan Rhodes, only 17, let's see how she makes out in her first shot on this left lane. And there she goes. That ball is left and goes through the beak for the 3, 6, 9, 10. Difficult split to kick things off for your first shot on TV. And let's see, she gets that definitely to the left of her target, and she'll have to make an adjustment off that. So let's see how she attacks this spare shot. It is cross lane. She'll use her strike ball because you have to hook the ball into the 3 and to carry the 9 pin. And she does convert. Good shot there by Avan Rhodes. We are back with our 2024-2025 season of the Bowling Promotion Tour. Another series of 24 exciting matches for you, including doubles, team, women's, and masters singles competition featuring bowlers from 8 different countries. Here is Emily Rogers starting things off on the right lane, and of course the teams stay on their respective lanes throughout the entire game. And Rogers goes cross to the cross of her pocket over to the right-hand side and leaves the unusual 4-5 combination. She got that ball substantially right of target, and that is over to the Brooklyn side and mixes it up for a 4-5. She's got to fit this ball right in between these two. It is makeable, and she just has to fit the ball in between the 4 and the 5. Emily throwing the only urethane of all our competitors. Let's see how she does there. That's left, and it's going to leave her open, so that's going to be a 9 count for the first frame for that team. And again, left of target there to try to convert the 4-5, an unusual spare that I don't think she sees very often. That looks like a Storm Ion in the hands of Philip Manning. Let's have a look at his first shot. And gets a really good hit through that shot. Comes up light in the pocket and scrambles on for a beautiful strike there for Manning. Watch this ball make the turn at the right point. Turns up and give him the scrambling strike. Good shot there. My name is Bruce Hall. I'm your international commentator for these matches. And of course, shout out to Bruno Bidone and Marc Chavet, your French commentators. And Marc will conduct an interview after this match with our competitors, so stay tuned for that. Here's our first look at Mike de Boer with that harsh reality. He did some damage with it on the left lane last time, and this time he goes through it, and there's more of that characteristic of that right lane. Watch this. This is going to be just inside of third arrow, catches the oil, goes straight through the break point, and leaves the bucket. The 2-4-5-8 combination. Another difficult spare for this team to try to convert. We had the 4-5, and now we have the bucket. Let's see how Mike makes out with that. He's going to use his strike ball to cross the lane and turn into that bucket and convert it. So good coverage there for de Boer. That's going to leave them down 11 pins in the match now by virtue of the Emily Rogers Open to kick things off. As usual, these bowlers have toured France and bowled 18 games of qualifying, and that's how we used, and their standings were used to determine the double seedings as well as the stepladder for the men's and the women's. And here are the finals right here in Fontaine-le-Comte in bowling the Sphère. And there's a double pinochle for Avan Rhodes. She went through the beak for the 3-6, 9-10 in her first shot, and this time she comes up through the beak for the nasty big four combination. And I don't think she's going to have as much success on this as she did with the 3-6, 9-10. An almost impossible split to make. They used to give out patches for making this split. I don't think they do anymore, but she just gets the 2. And that will leave them open. And now, assuming Rhodes can mark, that will put them down 2 in the match. And you can see she just goes for the 2, carries out the 6-10, and that will be 8 out. Let's see how Emily adjusts after that first shot. That's definitely more online, but still through the beak for the 2-4-7 combination. Again, she'll need to go cross lane to convert this. Just a little bit high in the pocket. Actually out of the pocket through the beak. Leaves the 2-4-7 combination. I'd like to thank Fontaine-le-Comte, one of the cities that hosts our tour. We're about 200 miles southwest of Paris in a bowling center called La Sphère, and good conversion there on the 2-4-7 by Emily. And indeed now our match is exactly tied. And watch this ball go right in between the 2-4, just like we drew it up. A deceivingly difficult spare. Here's Philip Manning's second shot with that ion. Let's see what he can do here. He gets it out. Similar shot, but it goes through the break point and leaves him with just 9. Now watch this ball. It should slow down here and turn through the pocket. It does not. It stays in the oil and goes down. Just goes to show this is the Gateway Arch oil pattern. 42 feet, 9.3 to 1, 26 mils of oil. And no trouble on the 2-pin conversion there for Manning. There is a fair bit of oil inside and dry outside, and if you want the ball to go through the pins the right way, you really have to get it out to the dry and get it to turn up a little bit. If you just throw it straight up the oil, there's a fair bit of cliff there, as we saw both with the Manning shot and Mike DeBoer's last shot. The ball just will skate right through that oil and leave you some combination of the bucket. Now this got out to the dry and turns it up, but unfortunately it's not enough to get up back to the pocket and carry. He comes up for the 7-10. Pretty unlucky here. This is a pretty good shot for DeBoer. Watch him get it out to the dry, as we just talked about. Turns it up. You can see the 5-pin go straight back. It's supposed to go out and take out the 7 at least, maybe for a weak 10 maybe. An unlucky hit there for DeBoer. He's going to go cross lane and just take his 1, and then he's going to kick out some deadwood there. We'll need somebody to go and clean up that deadwood. We'd like to thank Storm for sponsoring our Women's Series and Cubica AMF for their continued sponsorship of the Masters Series. Here's another look at the 10-pin hit and the deadwood kick out by DeBoer. We'd also like to thank our institutional partner, National Sports Agency, as well as the regions of Normandy, Brittany, and New Aquitaine, the departments of Calvados, La Manche, Dille and Vilaine, Pays de Loire, and La Vienne, and the cities of Rennes, Chateaubriand, and Fontaine-le-Comte. I apologize for butchering those beautiful French names, but they are lovely places to visit in France. And indeed, if you'd like to be part of this tour, visit the Bowling Promotion Tour website. The tour takes place in usually late September, early October, and you can be part of this tour, part of the qualifying, and then if you are well enough, you bowl well enough, you make it part of the TV finals here in Fontaine-le-Comte. And we do it every year. They've had at least 4 or 5 years now of this tour, and some exciting talent on display here in the Bowling Promotion Tour. This gentleman walking up and down. I used to run up and down those caps. Maybe it goes to show how foolish I was back in the day. And I was lucky never to slip and severely hurt myself, but that was a very nice walk up and down the cap there to retrieve that deadwood. Okay, let's get back to our match here. And here is Rhodes. Again, they're now up 13 in the match due to the unlucky 7-10 by Mike DeBoer. And let's see if Avan can find the range here. Young Avan, just 17. And there's a good shot. Gets it out light, and again, she moves left, gets it down that oil. It skids through the break point and does not quite make the turn up to the pocket to give her the 8 count. So that's too high and 1 light for Avan. Very frustrating start to the match for Avan. She's trying to get dialed in here. And like many of these great players, you can see sometimes people have trouble at the beginning of matches and then they put strikes together at the end. And we'll see what happens here in this match. And Avan, unfortunately got that in along the oil. And that is going to get only 1. She's only going to get the back one. She needed this ball to hook through that oil. She's right in the middle of the gateway arch, puddle in the middle of, as we'll call it. It goes skids down the lane and turns late to take out just the 8-pin. Okay, let's see if Emily can dial it in here, and she is now a little bit light. Again, both teams struggling to find the pocket here. We've had just 1 strike. And really just 1 ball in the pocket so far out of 10. Actually, we should say 2 because the other one in the pocket was that 7-10 by Mike DeBoer. So both teams struggling to find the range here. Let's see how we do later in the match. There is the 3-5-6 combination for Emily Rogers. Emily also just 17. So seeing some fine young talent here on the bowling promotion tour. And Emily going cross lane. Can't quite get the tip on the 6-pin, and that's going to leave her open. And she's going to come up late. Watch this ball trying to turn, but that's a purple hammer. You're not going to see a lot of snap in the back end with that ball, so it goes pretty much straight through it. She tips the 6-pin and cannot strike. And there's another light hit by Philip Manning. Boy, he threw a beautiful shot in the first frame, and the last 2 have gone right through the break point. Let's watch this go right through it. He catches that oil, supposed to slow down. He does get a tip on the 2-pin to leave just the 4. But again, Philip is trying to figure out what he has to do to get the ball to turn up the right way through the pocket. Now he's going to go cross lane for that 4-pin and make it to the left of the 4-pin, but he does convert. I think he was a little nervous about this one, but he does convert it without any trouble. Now, Mike DeBoer with that very frustrating 7-10 on the last shot. Let's see what he does here. And gets it out to the dry, turns it up. There's a perfect shot for DeBoer. You got to use some of that dry to the right of the pattern. In other words, get the ball out to the 5, 6, 7. Let's see where this ball makes it to. You can see it. You can see the angle through the pins perfect there. And that's 10 back for Mike DeBoer. And now Avan has gone high, gone light. Let's see if she can find the range here. She gets this ball. See, that ball gets out to the dry, turns up, and gets the trip on the 4-9. There's a friendly carry there. Let's see this ball. See, watch this ball get to the right a little bit. That's where the dry boards are. And watch the ball turn up, and it comes up and takes out the 9, and then the head pin goes and trips out the 4. Thank you very much. And that would be a strike for Avan Rhodes, matching the DeBoer strike. Let's see if we can see some more striking here. Here's Emily Rogers, and she strikes to give her team a double, and that's huge because that gets them back within 1 pin in the match. And so we have a 1-pin match now going in to the 7th frame. And there's the shot by Rogers. Good shot. Actually moving into the 8th now. It'll be Philip Manning switching balls. That's an optimum idle he switched to. Very controlled piece. He gets it a little bit straighter up the lane, and he turns it up and dead flushes it. I think that weaker surface allowed him to move right and go a little bit straighter up the oil pattern and not rely on the turn so much. So that ball held pocket, and that's 10 back. So each team now, after having one strike through the first 10 attempts, we now have 4 in a row by these teams. So it just goes to show that these are good bowlers, and they know how to dial in and figure out patterns, figure out carry, figure out ball shape, and start striking. There's another good shot by De Boer, and he comes up and he gets the messenger. All right, Mike De Boer gets it out to the dry, turns it up, and he gets that head pin back across the lane. You could call it a messenger, you can call it a scout, you can call it a Farkle, you can call it whatever you want, but you can definitely mark it as a strike. So great shot there by De Boer, and once again back within 1 pin for his team. And now can Rhodes keep this going? We've got 5 in a row here by these teams, and Rhodes get that out to the dry, turns it up, and she strikes. Great shot there by Avan Rhodes. That's 6 in a row by these teams. 1 strike in the first 5 frames, and now we've got each team with a triple. So great comeback here by both teams. Whatever the outcome, both these teams have shown themselves to have some grit and come back and figure this out. So now here is Emily Rogers in her final shot of the match. And let's see what she can do. Can she keep the strike train going here? Comes up into the pocket. Oh, but hits pretty weakly. And a little bit light in the pocket. Doesn't have a lot of strong work. That ball's not going to work its way through the pocket all that well. That purple hammer, and she's like, wow, I'm really glad I didn't leave the 7-9 there. She did get the 7 out to leave just the 9 pin. And now she's going to go cross lane and convert the 9 pin, no problem. Let's do some math here. So we have 213 available for the Rhodes and Manning team, and we have 191 available for the Rogers and De Boer team. And let's see if Philip Manning in the 10th here can basically put this away. 191 is a score to beat. And if he gets this, he'll be in the 190s. And does. Perfect shots. Beautiful shot there by Philip Manning. That puts them in the 2-0s. Good stuff. And he goes 10 back. He went to that optimum idle. He moved right, went straighter up the lane, and absolutely has flushed his last 2, combined with 2 strikes from Avan Rhodes. That's 4 in a row. And now they're pacing to 203. 213 possible. Actually, there's a mistake in the graphic there that should say 153 in the 8th. And once again, oh, there's a ring 10. So a conversion here will give them a 202, and that will lock up the match, because the most that De Boer and Rogers can manage is 191 if Mike De Boer strikes out. So it will be Philip Manning and Avan Rhodes moving on, face the number 2 seeds, Finland's Pepi Konsteri and Slovakia's David Barak. That will be the next match on this same channel, so come back and see us for that next match. Some exciting mixed doubles action here at the Bowling Promotion Tour. And good cover there. There will be 202 for that team. Again, there is a graphical error there. It says 192. It's actually 202, their score. And a double from De Boer will get them 191. And of course now the pins go. He saws the rack, and good shot there by Mike. I think again it's so dependent on getting the ball to the right just enough. Of course, if you get it out to the right too soon, it catches the dry and goes through the beak. If you get it there too late or not at all, it skids through the oil and leaves you the bucket combination. So it's what we call cliffed. So there's a lot of oil in, a little bit of oil out, and it can be challenging even though it's my phrase is they're so easy, they're hard because it's very cliffy, so you have a hard time getting the ball into the pocket. But there's a great shot by De Boer, comes up, slaps the 10 out, and now they are going to get to 191 possible and end up losing this match by something like 11. And there's a good shot there by De Boer. Again, you have to use a little bit of that dry to the right. Stay tuned for the interview with Marc Chavet. After this, Marc Chavet, of course, the voice of the Tour de France in the French countryside. And here is De Boer's last shot and getting some encouragement from the crowd. Lays it up, and that goes up the oil. He blows the rack apart. So great finish there by Mike De Boer, and it will be a third place finish for that team. And congratulations to them, and it will be Manning and Rhodes moving on to our next match. So let's have a look at our final score. It's actually 202, not 192 for Manning and Rhodes, to 191 for De Boer and Rogers. We'll look at a couple of stats here, and then we'll get on to Marc Chavet's interview. And we can see 202 again, the score. 5 strikes from Manning and Rhodes. They put the 4-bagger together at the end of the match, was really the difference. 4 spares and a well-bowled match by both teams, even though they struggled early on. They both figured it out later on. Here's the interview.
Mike, just a quick reaction on what we witnessed out here on the lanes. Tough lanes out there indeed. We did see some demonstrations, though, multiple strikes in a row, but it didn't go your way this time around.
No, it didn't. But Avan and Ville were also playing really well. At the beginning, it was really tough, even for both of us. I was also unlucky in my 4th frame with like the 7-10. But overall, we played a really good game. And I'm lucky, me and Emily, but also Phil and Avan, found our start line and struck everything out. But for us, it wasn't enough. But congratulations to Avan and Phil for making it.
Obviously, looking ahead, there's some more opportunities for you down the line in individual competition as well. Were there any lessons you were able to learn this morning from lane 5 and lane 6 in particular?
Off direction, and I thought my ball was rolling around and how it was losing energy early or late. The only thing I found out when I'm making my ball too high, I just moved left, give it more oil, more room. And that's how I found my line.
Dank u wel. Thank you so much, Mike. I look forward to seeing more of you in the individual competition. Indeed, the power couple of bowling. Indeed, the couple, the faces that run the place. Indeed, Becca and Phil in the house. But let me get Becca first, of course, ladies first, if you will. I know Phil was the superstar. Can you guys trade positions here? Because what's it like, obviously, watching your loved husband and esteemed husband indeed perform like that? Phil the Machine Manning. What do you think of the nickname Machine? Does that suit him?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to take that back to England with me. I think that will work really well. No, it's really nerve-wracking watching someone that you love a lot being on the lanes and not being able to do anything about it but watch and cheer. He did really well, and I'm really proud of him.
So Phil, get a reaction moving along in this tournament. You're moving one step beyond, but now, boy, oh boy, the competition is getting stiffer. The cast is getting extremely impressive as well. You got some big names coming up in the next matchup.
Yeah, it's only going to get tougher the further the ladder you climb. I know I've been with these guys all week, and I know exactly that they can perform under pressure just like we can. Just got to stay in the moment, make sure my partner carry the weight of the world for the both of us, because I can do that for us. Let her perform, and if she turns up, we've got all the chance in the world to do this.